Man, it's too early in the morning for this shit. But let's get it. Yeah. Ayy, all of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, open nuts on they chin. Like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green. I'm dropping slappers to hell with an album. Might fuck around and go see Jimmy Fallon. I multiply while you bury your talents. Cause I'm like a hawk when I bury my talents. Guess what I'm saying? I pray on these niggas. There was a day when I'd pray for these niggas. Now I got nothing to say to these niggas. I pray that God does away with these niggas. I keep my friends close, but my enemies closer. My mental is gross, but my verses are kosher. These girls going wild, but I'm not a poacher, so I just keep shining like Elon, I'm solar. All of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, open nuts on they chin. Like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green. Gotta make this money, only game I know. I'm the only king, this ain't no Game of Thrones. Everybody wanna be a fucking king until it's time to do what a king does. Everywhere I look, it's just kids and drugs. Everywhere I look, it's just gangs and thugs. Can't tame the guns, can't save our loved ones. I grew my funds and I called the plug. Then I filled my lungs, I don't mess with that new shit. Y'all talking tough, but ain't none of y'all do shit. Y'all chasing money, you want the exposure. Y'all think y'all funny and snake Gucci loafers. I don't give disclaimers, I rap full disclosure. These niggas all think they were born in October. The only thing different between you and I is that I also have stacks on plus stacks when I'm older. Stacks when I'm older. Yeah, stacks when I'm older. The only thing different between you and I is that I also have millions in cash when I'm older. All of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, open nuts on they chin. Like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
I think we should get off the road.
Go to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym.
Get off the road! Quick!
Go to the fucking gym. If I told you once, I told you 1,000 fucking times. Go to the fucking gym, or I'm coming over there. Go.
Swole Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
What's going on, Beaches, Booshes, Bustas, Hustlers, and Yo-Hos? It's your boy, Papa Swole, back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2, flexing on all you Beaches. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe. We're live on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole, and of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the show with your friends, and of course, leave a 5-star review on the podcast app of your choosing. That way, we can all make sick fucking gains together. We have this awesome post from Leonardo from the merch page. Go to papaswolio.com. We still have buy one, get one 50% off. Today I'm rocking the I'm Not Racist, I Just Don't Like You, which is super based. I have the I Want You to Be Swole flag behind me. All these are available on the site. Leonardo says, soft fabric, even when it gets sweaty, does not feel cheap. I have gotten a lot of compliments at the gym.
Hi, puppy.
Ve al puto gimnasio tank top, the Dora the Swole Explorer tank top. Great one. Go and check it out over there at papaswolio.com. Thanks for the review. Make sure you leave your reviews. Click on the beard logo in the bottom right-hand corner. You get Swolio's back, which is our currency over there on papaswolio.com, and you can pick up some merch with your earned Swolios, and you can earn them having birthdays, signing up for the rewards. You get them for leaving written reviews. You get them for leaving picture reviews. So go and check that out over there at papaswolio.com. Make sure you don't leave your Swolios don't leave them hanging. Make sure you clean that up. Put them in your piggy bank, your Swole piggy bank, your jacked piggy bank. That way you can pick up some awesome merch in the future. Don't miss out on free shit. All right, let's get into that tip. We got some awesome posts from the Swole fam.
Just an inch.
From inside the app. Let's get into it. What's in the box? We got this first one from John. I asked in the app, you can make sure you go and check it out in the community section. Go and comment if you haven't yet. I posted up, I said, what is your best piece of advice for someone that wants to improve their sleep? So let's get into some of these responses. John says, you need to abandon electronics an hour before bed. Go to bed at the same time every night. That means the same bedtime on Friday and Saturday as well. That Netflix movie or video game isn't going anywhere. Shut it down. Get back to it tomorrow. You delay getting in shape, but let's drop everything to complete the current season of some empty fictional nonsense. Make that make sense. It doesn't. People have their priorities in different places. So we all have the same 24 hours, and a lot of people pretend that they don't. They want to be lazy. The human body doesn't want to necessarily, when you are sitting around all the time, your body doesn't want to get up and get after it. Your body doesn't want to change what it's used to. It's momentum, it's inertia. So you have to force momentum, force that discipline, and become it. You have to execute whether you feel like it or not, and it will become your new identity, and you will build those habits. So priorities will always win out. And you can see what someone's priorities are by looking at them. You can see what someone's physical priorities are. And if they trash themselves, you will see it. And if they take care of themselves, you will see it and you will notice. So I agree. KC says one of those silk/satin sleep masks to block the light. I sleep so much better and longer when I use one. So this is very important. Getting rid of Wi-Fi and blue lights. You shouldn't have any LEDs. You shouldn't see your hand in front of your face when the lights are off. If you could see your hand, it's too light in your room. So you get those blackout curtains. Those are inexpensive. You can find them anywhere. A sleep mask can help, but if there's still light coming in, it will still negatively affect your sleep. Because you do have photoreceptors on your face and your nose and your ears and all over your body. So make sure that you block out that light, but a sleep mask in situations where you can't completely block it out, you can do that. But you could take, over your, different things and your LEDs, put a little piece of painter's tape and stuff over them. That way you block them out. You shouldn't have these things on anyway in your bedroom. So dark, cold room. And a sleep mask can help, but again, you want to make sure you black it out anyway. So dark room, very important. So good input. Kevin says, I go back and forth between no caffeine past an hour after you wake. Well, we'll talk about this. Wake at 8, no coffee past 9, and no screens 30 minutes before bed. So I'm cheating with 2 pieces of advice. Okay. No caffeine past an hour after you wake. That's actually backwards. You actually don't want to drink coffee and caffeine within like an hour and a half when you wake up. So if you wake up at 8, you don't want to be drinking coffee till about 9:30. That's so your body reabsorbs adenosine. That way you don't have that afternoon crash. So it's actually the opposite. You don't want to be drinking caffeine first thing. You want to be getting sunlight, walking around barefoot on grass and stuff. Obviously the winter, a lot of you can't, but you want to get sunlight before you have anything like that. Hydrate, electrolytes, eating food, whatever your morning routine is, but you don't want to drink coffee within an hour to 2 hours. So usually about an hour and a half after you wake up. So you definitely do not want to do that. If you have extreme caffeine sensitivity, that might mean that you drink less or you keep it earlier, about 10 hours or 12 hours before bedtime. So that's when it's going to be most important. And some people are more sensitive to caffeine than others. So you can have your coffee at 9:30, but you're not drinking your coffee for 3 fucking hours, So drink it. Have a cup of coffee and drink it at 9:30 or 10, and then that's it for the day. And you'll have no afternoon crash. You'll feel great. You'll have that boost. So keep that in mind. I agree with the no screens before bed. Turn them into red light mode. Put the phones down. Stop stimulating your brain. Even if it's red light mode, it's still stimulating your brain. So get off those things. We have this one from Steve. If you use nicotine, then quit. Quitting nicotine has improved my sleep tremendously. Also, no caffeine within 10 hours of bedtime. So we talked about this already. And like any other type of stimulant, you want to make sure that you don't keep it in the evening. Using nicotine, I mean, if you Smoking cigarettes, obviously tons of carcinogens, but at the same time, stimulants in the evening. A lot of people that are smokers, obviously you're smoking in the afternoon, smoking in the evening, and yeah, that can keep you awake. So keep that in mind. And the no caffeine within 10 hours of bedtime is a really good proxy. So if you're going to sleep at 8 o'clock, that's going to be 10 a.m. And a lot of people are like, oh shit, I'm drinking caffeine at 3 p.m. So just keep that in mind. If you have poor sleep or you want to improve your sleep, that the caffeine especially is something to look at. The caffeine and the proximity to sleep and how much you're drinking and all these other things, that's important. All right, we got this last one. I know a lot of you are still commenting on that, so we'll be taking some other responses to that tomorrow and the next day in the episodes. This is on Swole Foundation in the app, and this is one of our original, this is our original program, 90 Day Dash. Swole Foundation is the first Swole class, very important mobility yoga as part of the 90 Day Dash program. Zachary posted and said, so I'm completely new to all this. Should I still do my daily workouts while doing this? And I'm not sure what the context of that comment is, because should you still do your daily workouts while doing this? You're doing the 90 Day Dash program. So this is when you have Swole Foundation Day, you're doing that. You're not doing other training. You're not doing this program on top of other programs, so if that's what the question is. So if you go through the 90 Dash program, you'll see you have a workout. And then you do that on that day. And then when you have Swole Foundation, then you do that. That's it. Okay. And then of course, this is the on-ramping to Swole Normus X. This is the on-ramp program. So it will get more challenging. And this is very challenging for many people that have never practiced yoga. But this is important to figure out your recoverability, understand what's happening to your body. And then as you progress through Ignite and through the Swole phases of this program, yes, the exercises change. Yes, the stresses change. Yes, the equipment changes. So this is to be done on this day, not in addition to other strength training. So if you miss a day, you don't just double up, and you don't do this with other training, because then you're not recovering from your previous training in the 90 Day Dash. You're doing other stuff. So you're negatively affecting your ability to recover and benefit from the exercises. So if that's the context, just trying to talk around it and get some more feedback on that, just because I don't have all the information from that one post. So if you're watching live, Zachary, maybe you can follow up in the comments down below. Store machine wire LED lights, bad, usually poor light quality, and they flicker very, very fast. So they don't flicker if you buy a good quality LED driver. I don't know if those exist. You need to get specific protocols, maybe specific companies that have LEDs that don't flicker, but they all flicker. So flicker free is important, but you're also just better off getting on Amazon. You can get incandescent bulbs, and that works great. Okie dokie. And that's just one of the reasons why. All right, let's get into some Rate My Meal. What do we got here? Chewy's Wheel and Tire Service. We got a Zucker here. We got steak. I will approve. I approve the steak. I approve the steak. Excellent. So all good here. Enjoy your zucchini, but get it on a real fucking plate. You're eating off, looks like styrofoam. That's not good. You don't want to eat off whatever the fuck you're eating off of. Get a real plate. Get yourself a real plate. David, 93.7 chicken patties with sriracha drizzle, air fried home fries, dusted with Cajun seasoning. Jesus Christ. Italian seasoned tomatoes with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and red wine vinaigrette, dollop of avocado mash, salsa, and a side of banana peppers. Are you going to eat some food here, dude? What is this? What is happening here? Let's see. Tomatoes, home fries. Just eat way too many seasonings, dog. You're getting a lot of processed shit in your food. Stop drizzling all this crap with it. Italian. All right. I'm not hating on the red wine vinaigrette so much. Extra virgin olive oil. If that's actually what it is, a lot of that's rancid. So you got to be careful. Avocado mash. Avocado is good. You probably have a lot of additional shit in here that you don't need. So anytime you're adding all these sauces that have added sugars and stabilizers and binders and things like that, you want to be careful of. So if you're interested in figuring out what these foods do to you, I would recommend the chicken. I'd recommend maybe the potatoes and the avocado, and the rest you can isolate and test. I guarantee there's other sources of inflammation and irritants that you're consuming if you're interested in testing. But this is what the elimination diet does. But a lot of extra stuff that you don't need. This is preference, but just keep this in mind. Again, if someone's having issues and wondering why, it's all those extra things that you're adding to your food. All right. So Micah Beasley, I don't care about the protein. I don't care about the 464 calories. That's just, that it's made up. You don't really know exactly how many calories are in this based on just weighing. 53 grams of protein, fine. 16 carbs, don't care. 4 grams of fiber, don't care. Let's talk about the ingredients. Let's talk about forget the macros. Let's talk about what foods you're eating. Again, I want you guys to focus on quality, forget counting and micromanaging. If you're eating quality foods, eat as much as you want for the most part, right? You can mix and match, and you can test different combinations in terms of more protein or less fat and more carbs. That's fine. But the most important thing is the ingredients. So roasted garlic, chicken, and broccoli, that's up to you. So chicken and broccoli, probably better off getting some carbs in there too, more fat. But yep. So it's just protein and some vegetables. Okay. All right. Not the worst thing you could eat. Chicken and broccoli. I don't know what's on it. I guess just some garlic, or it looks like there's some sauce or things on it. So there's probably other things here. But okay. Don't worry about the 464 calories. Okay. If you're a man, let's stop with the calorie counting. All right. I want you guys to focus on the quality of the ingredients. Nutrient satisfaction. And if you have to micromanage your calories, chances are you're not getting nutrient-dense food enough, because you want to be eating to satiety in most cases. And you will when you're eating nutrient-dense food. So I like it that people are making their own foods. Make your own food. That's the first part. Sandy. We got Sandy. I don't know what's going on here. Sliced cucumber. Is that steak? Is that eggs? I don't know what's under it. Some kind of noodles. Is that ramen? I don't know. Not bad. Maybe. And again, this depends on the individual. So if you're muscular and ripped and like, this is what I eat. Okay. My opinions aren't going to sway anyone. Like if you're doing great and you feel great, and okay. But it really comes down to an individual basis, what your goals are. So if we know a little bit more about some of these people, that where their current status is, what kind of training they're doing, right? There's many different aspects as to why a meal like this or previous meals would be good or could be improved. It depends on what you're dealing with. If you have issues and things that you need to improve, and most people do, there are ways where you can improve the meals. So I'm not saying this will kill you. I'm not saying there aren't worse meals or, things that you can do that, it's better than this. But we're not trying to compare ourselves to worse meals. We're trying to do the best that we can to get us towards our goals and to improve our health. So keep that in mind. The context matters as well. But then you get a lot of these meals and different things that we show, and then the person's struggling with fat loss or X, Y, and Z, and you wonder, well, this is probably why, because you're putting all these extra sauces and stabilizers and artificial sweeteners and things on your food. So keep it simple, and it will simplify a lot of things for you. Keep it simple, and it'll streamline your progress. Victor, medium rare New York strip. Okay, well, steak. We like steak. And of course, these are not necessarily all that these people are eating. So it's just one meal, one picture. So it's not like, oh my God, you're eating crap. It's one time. Maybe someone was going out to eat. They took a picture and they had it in their phone. Hey, Papa Swole asked what my meal is like. So I posted a picture. We got some, this is from somewhere, because obviously no one eats with these kinds of containers at home. Get your food out of these paper plates so you're not eating wax. I don't know. Is this tacos and steak? All right. You guys can imagine vegetable oils, seed oils, makes you want to avoid those things, but nothing wrong with the actual meat and things. The processed flour and the maybe refried beans and lectins or glyphosate and stuff like that. You can get real nitty gritty, but a lot of times for most people, this is going to cause a quick trip to the toilet for obvious reasons. But in itself, steak, I don't know if those are plantains or potatoes, but this is essentially fast food. Okay. Okay. But again, when you're eating fried food or fried tortillas and stuff, the bleached flour, bleached wheat, enriched, who knows? Who knows? I don't know what most of those things are. But again, how are you cooking the food? What are you cooking them in? Are you cooking them in tallow? Are you cooking them in canola oil? All these things matter. Maybe not an individual meal, but that's the kind of thing that I look at. Okay, there's some things in there that are all intents and purposes fine, but that can easily cause someone heartburn or acid reflux. You could see how that might cause indigestion. And there's a reason for that. If you have bloating, if you have diarrhea, if you have your stomach kind of gurgles, if you have the acid reflux, it's your body rejecting the foods. You have too much of certain things. Maybe it's too acidic for you. Maybe you have too many carbs. Maybe it's the fried food. Maybe it's the fried polyunsaturated fats. There's different reasons why. But again, these are things to look at because for a lot of people, eating things like hot peppers or black pepper and stuff can poke holes in the gut, can exacerbate existing issues. So some of these meals, if you have a healthy system, it might not cause you problems. But if you do have leaky gut, if you do have issues, then you might have more of a response from some of these things. And we've talked about recently that if you are used to eating garbage, and I'm not talking about this meal in particular, but if you're used to eating poor quality foods, you're not going to notice bloating, like crazy bloating from a specific food because you're chronically bloated. People don't realize how chronically bloated and chronically inflamed they are. So you'll eat a food, feel like, well, I'm fine when I eat this. Well, you're already chronically bloated. So you don't notice that you're bloating because you already are, and it's your new normal. So you really have to isolate, eliminate a lot of these things, go back to the basics so you can see how your body's actually reacting. And usually when you leave a lot of these foods and you go back and you start testing some of that, you get heartburn, or you have all these issues, or you notice a migraine, or you feel sluggish and just dragging ass. And you're like, oh my God, I feel like I want to go to sleep. You shouldn't be eating food and like, I want to pass out. It should be fueling you. It should be giving you energy. It shouldn't be making you bloated and groggy and give you brain fog and joint pain and eczema and psoriasis. It shouldn't be causing you problems. So those are usually signs and usually side effects that you'll notice once you remove and then add these things back in, because then you're actually more sensitized to these ingredients, which most of these ingredients, or many of them, shouldn't even be in foods. But unfortunately, they are, because it preserves them and makes them taste better, makes you compulsively eat them. They're cheaper, this kind of stuff. John says, I had a friend eat some weird adult version of a Lunchable. I told her, you didn't finish your meal. Eat the container. Why not? It has the same nutritional value. Ho, 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 based.
We choose truth over facts.
Savage. All right, let's get into some questions. Are you ready? Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio for a chance to be featured. We got a couple on Rumble. We got one on Telegram. We'll take a few. You could drop them. Got a couple from Instagram also. Let's see what we got here. Storm Machine 97, Papa Swolio. I stopped deadlifting for a while. Want to start again, but I know they are very easy to overdo if you haven't done it in a while. What percentage weight and reps is good to ease back into it? It's proximity to failure. So pick your rep range, leave a couple reps in the tank. Maybe do 10 to 15 reps, focus on the form, and just don't push super close to failure. That's it. That's it. When you're getting back into an exercise, leave like 2 reps in the tank. It's just hard for most people to gauge what 2 reps in the tank is. So in other words, don't push until your last possible repetition, just because your joint integrity, tendons, ligaments, your proper form, if you haven't practiced a movement in a while, the coordination isn't going to be there. So the most important thing when strength training, if we talk about how 5 reps to failure or the last few reps is the most important, if you're not able to maintain proper form, if your last reps don't look like the first reps, then you're not targeting the muscles properly. So you need to get that neuromuscular coordination. You need to essentially build back that competency for that exercise. So make sure your form is good. Once the form starts to break, the set's over, you can adjust the weight accordingly, and just don't overdo it with volume or intensity when you get back into it. And then as you kind of get through that initial, like, oh, my back feels sore, I feel it here, I feel it there, then you can gradually push it harder. There's not exact like, oh, this is exactly what you should do. It depends on what else you're doing. Have you never worked out before, right? If you haven't done them in 10 years, never done them, what else are you doing in the meantime? Because if you're doing things like 45-degree hypers, but then you're getting back into standard deadlifts, well, you've been doing hinges, so you might be able to get back into that a little bit sooner, or go harder sooner than if you've never done a hip hinge before and you're kind of, or haven't done it in a long time. And those muscles are they're going to be really shocked by receiving stress again. So you'd want to be more mindful if that's the case. Sterling, Papa Swole, been sick for over a week, hoping tomorrow or Friday I'm feeling well enough to go to the gym. To GTTFG, considering lighter sessions to avoid excessive delayed onset muscle soreness, or should I just go for my same weight and volume? That's going to be up to you. I mean, lighter sessions, if you're doing lighter sessions, then you're not necessarily ready to go back to the fucking gym. You can. I don't really care. Like in that sense, but I would just train hard, but just do less volume, or you can just leave, like I said before, a couple reps in the tank. Delayed onset muscle. I mean, that depends on the style of training. Like you'll get sore. A lot of people will feel it the same day or that evening, depending on the intensity and depending on the volume. Because really that's just the pacing of how well your body will recover. If you've done a ton of volume, you'll progressively get sore the next day, the day after. But if you do high intensity and less volume and you're able to recover, you're going to feel sore more soon if you do, and you'll recover faster because you're not digging as much of a hole. You're not creating as much trauma, essentially, much damage to the muscles or to the muscle spindles and so on and so forth to feel that kind of like mechanical damage, so to speak. So lighter sessions, or just do less volume and leave a rep in the tank. Maybe don't push quite as close to failure. So you have to see where you're at. Depends on what you mean by sick. Everyone's sick means something different. It's vague. So if you had a major illness or something, you'll know. If you had like the flu or something, you come back and you're like, oh, you feel really weak. So you just got to do what you can do and don't over stress yourself, because usually the first couple you'll kind of be a little bit rough coming back into it, and then you'll be able to push harder. So just get back into the flow. Alex says, I just got myself a 5-gallon bucket and 20 pounds of rice. Am I good with just 20 pounds? And what rice bucket exercise do you recommend? Oh, all sorts of stuff. Twisting, opening your hands, moving your fingers, making circles, pinching, opening, turning. Make sure you work, your wrist in all different ways. You can move your fingers in the rice. You can just open and sweep. You can open and clockwise, counterclockwise, squeeze and clockwise. You can make circles, all sorts of stuff. So 20 to 40 pounds of rice in a bucket, depending on how high and how much depth you want. So a lot of good exercise there. Tons. Store machine. I love deadlifts and haven't done them in a few months because it's been super cold in my basement. I've been going to Purple Planet and you can't do them there. Oh no. Well, you can do them on a Smith machine, right? Doesn't Purple Planet have Smith machines? So you can do stiff legs or RDLs on a Smith machine also. Or you could do weighted hypers on an RDL, on a 45-degree hyper. I'm assuming that Purple Planet has a 45-degree hyper machine. The 20 pounds fills the bucket about 60%. So maybe I'm thinking about 2 10-pound bags rather than 2 20-pound bags. So whatever fills it up halfway or so, it doesn't really matter. Whatever that amount of rice is. I'm sure different types of rice, depending on what you got, the size of the grains will matter too. Okay. What's my favorite book? Favorite book. I don't think I really have favorite books. 48 Laws of Power is a great one. I like science fiction, so Hyperion's great. Dune's great. Expanse is a good series. I'm reading The Expanse, but I'm on like book 4 or 5. It's pretty entertaining. So mostly I read. I have a bunch of books on the shelf. I'll do a lot of like spackled reading. I'll just pick off a book on the shelf and I'll read a little bit, or I'll, flip through it. We have a lot of books on the bookshelf. So I'll kind of poke through a bunch of things. But if I'm reading a book, most books I'll kind of skip around and find different parts that I like. Books like science fiction, I'm going to read beginning to the end, obviously, for the storyline. Oops. Okay. Interesting questions today. Papa Swole, let's see. Does training fascia? You can't train fascia. Fascia is like the connective tissue. It's like the tendinous connective tissue. It surrounds a lot of muscles and muscle. What's it called? Like muscle fascicles and stuff. All the muscle spindles. It surrounds and bunches together different muscle fibers and keeps them organized and keeps them sheathed and in place. Just training fascia in your midsection help with making you look slimmer. I saw a short from Dr. Berg saying something about it yesterday. Training your fascia in your midsection. I've never heard about it, but doing doing any kind of vacuums and intrinsic core stabilizers, and vacuums are very important. So you'll strengthen like your transverse abdominis and muscles on the inside of your body that are deep, that hold the organs in and pull them in. Let's see. Store machine. I've always been scared to do deadlifts in Smith because I hurt my back one time doing a squat. I didn't have proper foot placement, I guess, for the path of the bar. Yeah, the whole myth that like, oh, if you squat on a Smith machine, you're going to hurt yourself. It just comes from not doing it properly. Like there's no logic or reason why you would get hurt on something aside from doing it wrong or not preparing for it. So a lot of times people will do heavy regular squats or something else and then put the same amount of weight on a Smith machine, but the bar will move differently. It doesn't, right? Because if you're squatting and you don't, most people when they squat, they don't squat properly and they're not able to squat up and down with a complete straight bar path. So then you go to a Smith machine and you're not doing it properly. So they definitely don't fuck you up. Smith machines definitely don't fuck you up. People just do it wrong. So that's a myth. That's a myth. You'll get hurt. You can get hurt doing any type of exercise. So if you're not used to doing a Smith machine, then obviously you're not properly trained for that machine. And then it's a different movement. It's a different movement, different strength profile, different bar path. So you have to adjust accordingly. And a lot of times people will get in the same position. So for example, if you're doing a regular back or regular squat and you don't have good ankle mobility, you're gonna be leaning forward a lot. So then if you go into the Smith machine and it's up and down and you're leaning forward a lot, it can put more pressure on your lower back because your body, you know, the way the bar, it's not going to move naturally in the sense. It's not going to move. It's not free moving. So if you are, let's say, normally doing a squat where your knees aren't traveling far enough in front of your toes and you're kind of leaning back, getting more of a hip hinge out of it, then you go to a Smith machine and all of a sudden your back is more upright and your knees are going forward a lot and you're really targeting your quads a lot, but you're not normally used to that. All of a sudden, ooh, my knee hurts. Because you didn't progressively overload that properly. You went too hard. You did more of a quad bias squat on the Smith machine because you saw someone do it online and the tendons weren't used to that kind of depth, X, Y, and Z. And then you get hurt because you tried to push it too hard with that new range of motion. So understand that if you're going through a full range of motion or you're doing a different type of range of motion, you're putting a lot more stress on the joint. You're putting a lot more tension on the tendon because it's stretching more. The tendon attaches the muscle to bone. So if you normally do quarter reps or half reps on a squat and you're not really going for depth, then you go in a Smith machine and you see someone keeping their back upright and your knees are going over your toes, you're going ass to grass. All of a sudden, your knee's getting a lot more torque. All of a sudden, you're getting a lot more knee flexion. And then maybe you get a little tendon pain or something, you know, tweaks or irks you just because you didn't drop the weight and go slow and ease your body and your tendons and your connective tissues into a new range of motion. So you don't have to do Smith machine, but if you're going to Planet Fitness, then they don't have a lot of free weights. So you need to use those machines. And there's different Smith machines, right? Mine's on an angle. Mine's like a 7-degree angle. Some of them are straight. Everything moves a little bit differently. You might like certain exercise on the Smith. I did Smith machine yesterday. I did it for upright rows and I did it for behind the neck shoulder presses. So I like it. I like it. Power Stroke Builder on YouTube. I went from being a mechanic to a desk job and noticed that my sleep is worse. Yeah, it might also just be, if you're at a desk, you're probably looking at a computer screen. So the blue lights, the fluorescent lights being more stable sitting down. Yeah, it's stressful. Fluorescent lighting is garbage. So any kind of environment, any kind of store, it's all bright fluorescent lighting and it's brutal. So you can help by getting some blue blocking glasses, things during the day that relax your eyes. You'll notice a big difference in terms of fatigue. That's very common for office work. Follow up on that. Let's see. What are some good exercises for man boobs and side fat? None. You're not going to be able to spot reduce fat. That's going to be cortisol level, lowering your stress, building muscle overall, getting rid of inflammatory foods, sunlight, vitamin D, magnesium, all the normal things that are going to be good for health, building muscle, minimizing inflammation. But you can't spot reduce fat. So you really want to build muscle and then eat around a maintenance, adjust your protein, your carbs and fat to complement, get good sleep, lower your stress. All those things are important for testosterone, raising testosterone, lowering cortisol, and losing fat overall. So building more lean mass will help your body metabolize fat at rest. So I don't know how long you've been training or what all your different protocols are, but that's a direction you want to go, not spot reducing body fat. You could have fat around your gut and do crunches until the cows come home and you won't see your abdominals. It'll help if you have, abdominal muscles, like, hey, you want to develop the muscles. So when you get lean, you see more definition. So that will help. But you've seen people that were skinny, ripped, you have people that in the 70s and 80s, rock stars, and they're skinny, ripped. They're all doing drugs and alcohol all the time. And wow, you can see their abs, but you can see their shoulder. You can see their humerus too. So they're really skinny and emaciated. So just because you could see a little bit of abs and ribs, it's like, that's not good. You don't want to look sickly. You want to look strong and lean. Good questions. One more comment from Power Stroke Builder on YouTube. Maybe I'm crazy, but I love to have more protein. But is there such a thing as too much protein? Yeah, there's such a thing as, I think for certain people, I mean, I'm sure there's actual health conditions where you have too much protein, your body can't process it. It could be stressful, but it's really hard to eat too much protein. And you don't need to eat too much protein. That's the difference. So you don't need more than a gram per pound of body weight, most likely about 0.8 grams per pound or a gram per kilogram. So a lot of people eat protein excessively. And this is also something that you're seeing more and more now, that any food, if there's a pancake and it has protein, it's a protein pancake, or it's a cookie, it has a protein cookie. This has only 200 calories and it's a cookie, but it has 40 grams of protein. Just because it has protein doesn't make it a health food. So there's this, I don't know why all of a sudden it's popping out again, but all these different fake foods, these addictive, compulsive foods and junk foods that people are just trying to justify eating because they shove in like 30 grams of whey protein. Yeah, you want to avoid that crap. You want to avoid that crap, the fake protein foods, right? If it doesn't make sense, then don't eat it, right? Oh, it's a protein cookie. Don't eat that for protein. You just want to eat a cookie. You want to eat a cookie and you're trying to pretend like, oh, this is a good cookie. No, it's not. It's garbage. It's ultra processed shit. Eat a steak if you want something. If you're going to eat a cookie, eat a good cookie. You're trying to justify this cookie and pretend like it tastes good when it doesn't. It's a shitty cookie that's justified based on, it has a little protein in it. Stop with the protein. Stop with the fake protein foods. The fake protein foods. It's protein French toast. Oh, is it? Just drink your fucking whey shake and eat some French toast. All the other ingredients and the aspartame and the sucralose and the Splenda to make that taste redeemable. It's like you're just eating French toast and you want to pretend like it's healthy, but it's not. Store Machine, I'm 3 months into the journey of growing my heart out. I'm assuming your hair. Growing your heart. Don't grow your heart that much. And I have a new respect for Papa's hair. This awkward phase is tough. It's in your face, isn't it? It's in your face. The awkward phase of you need a hairband. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. It's too short to put in a ponytail, and then it's too long, and it stays in your hair. Stays in your face. Gets in your face a lot. I hear you. I hear you. Mike Piffer. What are your thoughts on post-gym protein shakes? Optional. After a workout, you can eat food. The issue with the protein shakes is that a lot of times people are eating low quality or shitty quality protein. So you want to get a grass-fed and finished whey protein that doesn't have stabilizers, soy, and sunflower lecithin. I like the Nature Force 5-pound bag. It's in my Amazon store. So in the app, if you click where is it on the left side? You can check out the Amazon store. I believe I have it in there. I got to re-update the Amazon store and start talking about that a little bit more. Let's see. Do we have that at the top? Oh, if you go to your profile, we need to put that in the Get Started series. I thought it was there. If you go to your profile in the app and you click on Amazon links. So I'll show you here. I can see here. So it's right there. It's right there. When you click on your profile, you'll see Amazon links. So you can find it there. Let me get that in the Get Started series. So people can find it easier. We used to have the menu on the left, but then we condensed it and we put it into the profile. We have some updates to the app that are coming soon too. So we're working on some of those things. Anyway, so in terms of post-gym protein shakes, if you don't have to eat immediately. So if you don't feel like eating, or if you're hungry and you don't have access to food, you can just wait a little bit, or you can have a protein shake, but you just don't need to suck down tons of artificial crap. So just make sure the quality always matters. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there who just want to focus on the macros. Doesn't matter what's in it. All the other things, seed oils are fine and artificial sweeteners are fine. People always say these things are fine because it's easier to not avoid them because they're in everything and you have to pay more attention to it. And people don't want to change their habits. They don't want to try something new. They don't want to pay a little extra and they don't want to stress about it. So it's easier just to poo-poo it and like, oh, come on, we're all going to die. And yeah, this is fine. And there's no triple blind studies on humans or all done on mice or whatever. Like, don't eat artificial processed crap. So if you get a quality protein, you're not mixing it with tons of garbage. It's not cookies and cream or birthday cake protein powder. Then sure, after a workout, you can have it. You could have it in the morning. You can have those different times, but it shouldn't be a major component of your protein intake. You should get it from real food. Whole food choices are always going to be the best choice. Sterling, any new upcoming Swole tunes? Sure. Yeah, we have a lot of them. So I made a lot. I mean, all these Swole tunes, I've had them for months. So there's a ton. We've only put out a small fraction. So yeah, there's definitely more to come. More to come. More to come. Thanks, Papa Swolio. Definitely need to control the stress. Been on a routine for over a year, so it's kind of been hard. Ain't going to stop me, though. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I've been training and doing this for 25 years or so. So I've changed what I've done over the years. So as you learn more things, you try different things. And it's really important. That's why we focus on the 7 pillars. We focus on the execution. We focus on those things on a regular basis because the foundations are usually what gets lost behind. People are looking for simple injections or simple things to take or shortcuts. Everyone wants a shortcut. I get it. You want the results faster. But these kinds of results don't happen fast. And it takes time to learn. It takes time to test these things. It takes time to see what works best. It takes time. And then all of a sudden your job changes or your schedule changes. Then you have to find a new normal and a new flow. So it's just a lifelong pursuit. So if you stop thinking about like, hey, I'm going to figure this out and then it's done. No, it's always ongoing. But that's why you have to care and pay attention and then, you know, put the pressure on yourself, but also not hold yourself, you know, with a gun to your head if you don't hit a certain weight on the scale or if something's not perfect. Like, you're always adjusting. So if you have the right intents and you understand what you're doing and what you put in your body, this is why if you're over obsessed with the macros or calorie counting, I'm not saying calories don't matter. I'm not saying macros don't matter. Like, everything matters, but at the same time, none of it matters if you're not focusing on the quality. So I really want people to over-focus on the quality. You can't really over-focus. You can't over-focus on the quality. So you focus on the quality and the rest of it is going to figure itself out. You're not going to overeat the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. I'm not worried about you overeating liver. I'm not worried about you overeating ground beef. Oh my God, I had 5 eggs instead of 4. I'm going to put on fat. It's not going to happen. So it's important to focus on the quality nutrients, and then the volume is going to satisfy itself because you're going to actually get full. I know it's shocking, but you will get full and satisfied. You're not going to want more food if you get rid of these addictions and you actually isolate what works best for you. Because once you start feeling really good, you're going to want to do more of those good things, right? Most people, I feel great. I want to keep going. And you get interested. You start seeing those results and like, hey, what if I take it up a notch? What if I do this? What if I get rid of that too and don't eat that again? What if I swap this out for that? And you still keep making progress. Cool. You're in control. You're in control of these things. You're in control of these choices. So make good choices. That's all you have control over is your choices and what you do. And you can make those choices differently today because you decide to. Cornholio, let's see. Today is a recovery day for Swole Gun Mobility. Go for a mile run before or after. Well, it's not recovery if you're running a mile. I mean, you have to understand that when you're recovering from training, depending on what you're doing that is not recovery. So I know we use the term active recovery, but remember, any kind of intense training, because a mile run might be intense for you, it might not be. So it depends on the intensity and your output. So when you're not doing your heavy lifting, that's recovery. And recovery is just time and lowering your stress. So if you're doing stuff that's really stressing you out and you're doing hard cardio or that's not recovery. So just keep in mind that anything that you do is going to eat into your fatigue. Just make sure you keep it at a lower intensity and you should be fine. So before or after Swole Gun Mobility, I don't know. I mean, I personally, if I was going to do some cardio stuff, I'd probably do it first. but it depends. Maybe you like to do it after. I won't say it really matters, but just make sure it doesn't negatively affect your repair and your recovery. Because if you're doing physical activity, you know, especially at a moderate to higher intensity, it is going to factor into your fatigue. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Good stuff. Let's get into some more questions on Instagram. Good. We haven't even
What's in the box?
We haven't even tapped the Instagram cesspool yet. Let's see. Foster25. Do you consider CrossFit training as going to the fucking gym? Yeah, I do. I don't think CrossFit is a good idea for the majority of people. I'm not saying there aren't benefits for specific populations. I know we always talk about a lot of great things with community and good exercise and training hard, but doing the kind of random amalgamations of long distance running and high rep cleans and stuff. A lot of people get injured just because it doesn't progress you properly. It really depends on where you're going and where you're training. Some CrossFit places have, hey, I went to a weightlifting class in the morning and it was all technique based. Okay, so in itself, that's not a bad thing. You're learning how to lift and maybe you're being taught properly by someone who knows what they're doing. Okay, fine. But if you're doing like 50 kipping bullshit pull-ups, which aren't really pull-ups, you're doing like those spasms on the bar and then you're running like 2 miles on concrete and then coming in and doing like, 100 sloppy, shitty burpees for time, that's how you get fucking hurt. So keep that in mind. It's not actual proper program design. It's a lot of random exercise to beat you into the ground and make you feel proud that you actually made it. Like, I survived. Well, you actually want to train with progressive overload. If you want long-term results, you're just putting yourself at more high risk for injury, and injuries set you back. So if you're going to push yourself hard, you're at more risk for injuries, period. But you want to make sure that you are doing it properly. That way you can maintain it more long-term. You're not trying to run into a wall when you can walk around and keep on walking. You don't have to run through it. Do you believe in ghosts? That's an interesting question. Yeah, why not? I guess it depends on the context. Ghosts? What about banshees? What about specters? I think I think banshees or specters are more enticing. No one asks about, do you believe in banshees? No one asks about banshees. Underrated. Banshees are underrated, I think. Ghouls? What about ghouls? No one talks about, make ghouls great again. Make banshees great again. I really think there's the marginalized undead. Yeah. Vegans. We call them vegans. Re-kobogolum. Kobobogum. Re-kobobogum. Papa Soy, can I get a girlfriend without going to the gym? Oof. Yes. Yes, you can. But can you keep a girlfriend without going to the fucking gym? That's the other question. Because the problem is, you can get a girlfriend. You can get a girlfriend without going to the fucking gym, but then your girlfriend in her day to day is going to come across someone who goes to the fucking gym. And then they're going to be like, he goes to the fucking gym. I like that. All right. So you can get one, but can you keep them? Can you get a girlfriend without going to the gym? You have a boyfriend. I like that. But can you keep it? Can you keep the girlfriend? Probably not. All right. Here we go. What else we got here?
What's in the box?
Michael, after work, LOL. I guess you're going to the gym. Actually, while I'm here, I have a question. I'm really struggling to progress on incline bench. I'm keeping the grip shoulder width, elbows tucked, touching my lower chest each rep. Is it supposed to be that hard? I'm feeling discouraged with how slowly I'm progressing it, and I welcome any advice if you have success with this one. You might not prefer barbell bench. Barbell incline is overrated. You might like a Smith machine better for an incline, and also dumbbells. Dumbbells will allow you to get more of a neutral grip. And yes, you want to keep your elbows more tucked if you're trying to work your upper chest. You want the shoulder flexion component. So you don't need a high incline. You probably need like 30%. And keep your elbows more tucked and more neutral like this. So you're not completely flat like a low incline, and pushing up so your elbows are more tucked. So if you're using a bar, you're like here. And the problem with the bar is that usually what happens on the way up, and I can't see your video or see your form, a lot of times on the way up, people keep it low like this, but then when they come up, they flare on the way up. because you activate more of your sternal pec. And it's just, a lot of times the human body is going to try to detour around some of this form. So if you're doing a Smith machine, you could also do a reverse grip. Some people like that. I think you have to drop the load a lot. So the trade-off for dropping the load tremendously for an underhand grip on the bar may or may not be worth it for you. So you could try that on a Smith machine, doing an underhand grip, because it's much more comfortable doing it like this than, bending your wrist if that's a problem, or using dumbbells. So yeah, it's going to be hard. And I think there's an overstress on the stretch position. People like bring their arms all the way down. They're stretching. And just they're trying to go for this maximum range of motion rather than focusing on the active range of motion. So if you go for a super deep stretch all the way down, you get more of your shoulders involved. There's more pressure on the shoulder capsule. And in many ways, you just lose leverage on your chest and it puts your joints more at risk. So you don't need to do, I prefer generally not doing like a crazy stretch. Come down, your upper humerus, maybe about 90 degrees, maybe slightly more, and focus more on active range of motion. But for the upper chest, you just need a little bit more of that. You need that horizontal adduction, but also the shoulder flexion component. So I would try a Smith machine or dumbbells and see if you like those better. Let's see. And the cool thing about the Smith machine for that, for example, is, or dumbbells too, but for the Smith machine, you can keep your elbows tucked and you don't have to worry about the bar being, against gravity and, keeping, because sometimes you'll push here and then you'll flare just because you have a barbell. If you move it this way, it's going to land on your junk. You move it this way, it's going to land on your forehead. So with the Smith machine, you can keep your elbows in that position and kind of, you're forcing your humerus in your position and you don't have to worry about balancing the bar. You could just push and stay in that position and kind of get in a better position than possibly you'd be able to hit with barbells. So it's not required. But dumbbells are probably going to be a better option for that dude. A lot of times also people collapse their elbows. So they'll collapse their elbows and get more triceps in there. So you really you see my elbow position, you don't want your elbows getting like this, because then it's the triceps, the extension. So you want to make sure that your wrist and your elbow and your forearm, right, that's stacked. So if you look at this here, look how my elbow is stacked here. It's not collapsing in, becoming a tricep extension. It's staying more out here. So I can work my pecs and work your chest more and take your triceps out of it. But I think I think that person will like the Smith machine or the dumbbells better. Aline or Aline. I want to lose weight, Papa Swole, but I don't know what to eat. Thank you in advance, sir. I recommend you join the Swole fam over at swolenormousx.com and then start our nutrition jumpstart, which will walk you through our elimination protocol that will help you customize your nutrition. So again, it comes down to, I've been preaching this for 10 fucking years, quality. Okay. You can count, you can measure, you can obsess with the macros and whatever it is afterwards. A lot of times people do that first and they're not focusing on the quality. Like we have people that are putting sauces all over and all this other crap. And you're like, where's the protein? Where's the carbs? Okay. It tastes good. It tastes like some fucking Mexican food that you had last week. But what about the ingredients, right? If you focus on the ingredients, the volume will take care of itself. So you could still have your 464 whatever calorie meal if that's your thing, but let's focus on the ingredients and then focus on that, right? It's just the ingredients and the quality first, then you worry about the rest of it. I'm just telling you to reverse. I'm not saying you can't count. I'm not saying you can't measure. I'm not saying you can't over focus. If you really like tracking and adding and subtracting, fine, to each their own, but you don't have to. And it's better to do the quality first. I'm just telling you, you'll avoid a lot more problems, because a lot of problems that people have with their hormones, with their sleep, with their skin, bloating, eczema, brain fog, joint pain. Like these are things that really affect your life in so many ways. Who cares if you're hitting your calorie limit if you have chronic migraines, right? Do you care? Do you care if like, whoa, but this has 30 grams of protein, but I have a searing fucking headache that doesn't go away for 36 hours? Who cares how many calories you're eating? Right? The famous quote, when you're healthy, you have 10,000 needs. When you're sick, you have just one. When you're sick, you don't want to be sick anymore. If you focus instead, right? Everyone's worried about finances. Everyone's worried about body fat percentage and these kinds of things. If you're sick, life sucks. You can't do anything. So You want to stay away from getting sick. You want to stay healthy. You want to stay functioning. You want to stay moving. You don't want to be injured. It might happen. You don't want to get sick. It might happen. It could still happen, but it'll happen less severely and more briefly if you're taking vitamin D, getting sun, getting sleep, eating quality ingredients. This is important, right? You have chronic inflammation and leaky gut and stuff like that. Guess what? Your immune system, that's in your gut. That's your small intestines. That's your entire gut biome. So if that's porous and you're absorbing nutrients and your body is attacking them like they're a virus, yeah, you're going to have chronic inflammation. It's going to lead to a lot of issues. I'm telling you, quality, quality, quality. If you focus on that, the other things will fall in place. I'm not saying they don't matter. People that are stepping on stage for a bodybuilding competition, they're going to be obsessed with calorie counting and micromanaging these things. Fine, that's not you. You don't have to do that. If you're not stepping on stage, then don't obsess about it like that. I know we had a question like, hey, I'm 13. How do I get jacked? Like, you're 13 fucking years old. That's cool. That's inspiring. You should. But I mean, you don't need to be jacked at 15. Like, you're going to be, if you're lifting already, you'll be more muscular than a lot of people, but it's, you feel like you're behind when you're 13 because you see some 17-year-old on YouTube that has like 1 million followers and they're streaming and they lift weights. It's like, it starts so young now, but you have to focus on the right things. You have plenty of time. You have plenty of time. And if you cut corners young or you cut corners at all, you're going to pay that price. You're going to pay the price for those corners that are being cut. Sure, you take Ozempic and you might lose 100 pounds. Cool. You look like a melting ice cube. And then your gut's messed up and you lost a lot of your muscle mass. And there's so many side effects that are going to come out that a lot of people are in denial about. And you just do this shit properly. And you'll hear a lot of pushback saying, well, people that are in fitness, they're just jealous because, you should do it with hard work. You shouldn't take these things. It's this weird virtue signal, like I'm a bad person because people should be eating quality foods and setting good habits. Instead, they want to take some experimental injection and eat whatever they want and pretend like they're doing something magical. Like, oh, look at all the progress I made. It was just my genetics. Look, I take this drug and it's all better. It's going to catch up. It's going to catch up, and it's already catching up to a lot of people. Don't abuse this shit. I posted on X the other day. I was like, Jim over Ozempic. It's our shirt, right? And it's a great piece of advice. And someone said, what about both? I was like, someone said, you can do both. I was like, you can. Can and should, two different things. Very different. Can and should. You could do a lot of things. Doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean you should. All right. Forever Shifting, last one, and then we will move on. If you have any last minute questions, you want to follow up, drop in the chat. Hopefully you get some good insights. Again, if you take anything from this episode, it should be quality over quantity. Quantity will solve itself. Focus on quality first. Forever Shifting, Papa Soy, how long should the duration of your workouts be daily? This is one thing that I care much, much less about than I ever have before. It really depends. And the reason why I say that is if a lot of people ask this question because you have a schedule that demands a limited amount of time. So that's a whole different conversation. The length of the workout really, in my opinion, does not matter. What matters is the context. So if you have, okay, I have to go to the gym at 8, I have to be done by 9, then your workouts should be an hour. Every minute matters. If you go to the gym and it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean you work out for 4 hours, but you don't have to rush. Take plenty of rest, because I'll do sets and I'll take 2, 3, 4, maybe more minutes between a set if it's really intense. So between working sets, I might take 3 or 4 minutes. Totally fine. If it's hotter and it's 95 degrees and humid, I might take a little bit more after a set of hack squats. I might need some more recovery and it's hot as shit and the sun's beating down because I train outside in the fucking gym. So the length of workouts, it's really about the intensity and the volume. But of course, the longer you're training, the more fatigue overall, right? The longer between a meal, but if you're getting some intra-workout carbs, that can help you last longer too. But the longer you're without food, the longer you're without recovery, right? You're exposing yourself. So you shouldn't be lifting for 3 or 4 hours. But for me, generally, there's like a 2-hour block where I will do whatever I need. Maybe I train for an hour and I take extra time and I do some accessory stuff at the end, or I take extra rest. I generally time my workouts just to be curious as to how long they are. But it really doesn't matter when you're talking about the intensity and the volume. So if you're recovering properly, it could be an hour and a half. It could be 45 minutes. It could be an hour 15. If you have a home gym, you have to set up exercise and it might take a little more time than if you're at a commercial gym. You just go over here and then go over here and then go over here and then go over here and they're all open and you go, when it's not prime time, you get your workouts done really quick. That's fine. If you're at home, you might need to load the bar, take the weight off the bar, move the bar down, adjust the straps and stuff. And yeah, it takes a little extra time. So you don't have to worry about like, oh my God, I saw this pro bodybuilder and they say I do this in 45 minutes. You know, these are pro bodybuilders. They might be working out twice a day. They're taking anabolic steroids. This is what they do for their life. They're doing a very specific thing. They get in, but they want to get out because it's stressful. And they lift a lot of weights and they're focusing on their nutrition and all their injections that they're taking and the water retention. And they're doing posing. Like they do a lot of other things. So getting in and getting out is fine if you're doing the right things when you're getting in. A lot of times people do a quick workout, but they're not really doing it properly. So they're just doing a little bit and then leaving. The time doesn't make the gains, right? The stimulus, the volume, the frequency make the gains. So whether it's 20 minutes longer or 30 minutes longer, it's not like killing your gains or helping your gains. What are you doing during the time that you're going? So how long? It doesn't matter as long as you're doing what you need to and you're recovering sufficiently for the next workout. There's no benefit to doing an hour versus an hour and a half, depending on what you're doing. You could do a lot of things for an hour that are a waste of time, and you could do something proper for an hour and a half, and it's wow, it's great. So it really depends. But you shouldn't be training for 3 hours, right? If you're training for 3 hours and you're doing 40 sets, yeah, you're doing too much. And again, if you're doing 20 sets in half an hour, you're just doing cardio because you're not recovering enough between each exercise for maximum strength output and progressive overload. So you have to use it all in context. If you're resting sufficiently for heavy strength training, it's going to be longer just because if you're doing 2 sets for a body part, you're doing a warm-up set or 2, and then 2 working sets, and you're resting 3 to 5 minutes, that's going to be 10, 15 minutes for just that one exercise with 2 working sets. So who cares? Okay. Make sense? If that's what you're doing. Again, different things, different people. But you do 30 seconds of rest or a minute rest, it's more cardio-based. You know, that's not going to be a heavy strength training protocol for most people. You might get a better pump, but you know, that first set, if you do a heavy set and you wait 60 seconds for another strength set, you're going to have to drop the weight tremendously because you're not recovered. If you wait 3 or 4 minutes, you might be able to hit the same reps with the same weight because you actually recovered between sets. Okay, good stuff.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's deep.
All right, let's get into some balls deep. Here we go. Good questions, good topics. Hopefully they give you some insights. If you want to follow up with anything, drop in the comments. Make Banshees great again. We also have a great card, Gain Train. Find the Pinkston Churchill. Oh, she's got her moose. And there's Pinkston. There she is. Gain Train, drop that in the comments. Which one? Find the stuffed animal. You find the stuffed animal. There you go. That's Pinkston Train. Tess Hornaday. Let's get the horn. There you go. Where's Pinks? There she is. There's the stuffed animal. All right, and then we have, oh, Mr. Mustard. Aww. Mr. Mustard. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, he's doing so good. He's doing so good. He's on his bed. Good meats. Good Mr. Meats. Ah, good mustard, man. Okie dokie. Let's see what we got here. Short video first. We'll take this one. It's called America Deserves to Blow Up. Speaking of which.
What's in the box?
All right. Do we now?
America deserves to get its shit absolutely rocked. And I say this as an American. I don't want to deal with this. I didn't do this. I've never supported this. However, if they wiped us off the map, I would completely understand. It would be justified because we fucking didn't deserve it.
Who's wiping us off the map? Get fucked. What are you talking about?
Go fuck yourself.
Who's wiping it? Yeah. All that wiping. Oh, we're wiped off the map. Oh, we deserve to be. Oh, shut up. Shut up and go cut off your tits. Oh, go cut your tits off.
As you can see, my nipples have been removed from my body. Where they are, I don't know.
All right, these are both, ironically, these are both 53 seconds. So we'll take this one first and we'll do the weird one last. This one's called Weight Loss, not a miracle cure. Weight loss, not a miracle cure.
Can we please stop acting like weight loss is some sort of miracle cure for all of fat people's problems? Because, sorry, I know we don't like to acknowledge this, but it's only going to harm their health more in the...
Oh, I hate this. Like,
run. Because our society is so rampantly fat phobic, we equate health essentially just to weight and appearance alone, which means the only time we really care whether someone's losing weight in a healthy way is if they're already skinny or healthy to begin with. But when a fat person loses weight, it's glorified. We treat the act of weight loss as the measure of physical health, not how they have actually lost that weight, which encourages them to do it in really unhealthy ways.
Okay. Yes. This is the conflict between body positivity and big pharmaceutical companies. So body positivity, they lie to everyone, right? The media lies to everyone pretending like this grift is, oh, well, you're fat. You're beautiful when you look like a fucking whale. You're not. No one's attracted to that. So that was a grift. And guess what? They got a lot of people fat and justifying being fat, and they rolled out their GLP-1s, and now everyone's like, oh, it's great to lose the weight. Yeah, look at this. Take Ozempic and lose all the fucking fat. So I agree. Just because someone's losing fat doesn't mean they're doing it properly. But it also means both things can be true. You could do things wrong and improperly, but also being morbidly obese is not healthy. So, yeah. Wow. You could have two things be true at the same time? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you make me say facts?
How dare you? I do not want to talk about the severe physical and mental health repercussions of fat people losing weight in an unhealthy way.
Okay. So if you do crack cocaine, you can lose weight. Well, what's your point? What's your point? Yes, people make terrible choices. This is why the fitness industry has so much money. And that's why fat burners and Ozempic make so much money, because they don't care how you lose the fucking weight. They just want to make their bucks. They got their subscription. You can't get healthy any other way than taking their fucking drugs, because you can't stop eating cake. So they don't want you. They want you to keep on taking all this shit for the rest of your life.
Until it comes to putting the weight back on, because we can only view the health of fat people in the context of weight, and it's disgusting. We need to be prioritizing building a healthy relationship with food and our bodies, not weight loss.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I even disagree with any of this, but I don't like the stupid virtue signaling, like build a healthy relationship with food, with our bodies. Can we stop with this healthy relationship crap? A relationship with food? I mean, this is stupid. You don't have a relationship with food. It's not a person. So stop. We have to build a healthy relationship with food. It's not a person. It's not a person. In other words, you have shitty fucking habits, or anyone that's eating crap has shitty fucking habits. They have shitty habits. If someone's going into Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme, I'm not like, that person needs to improve their relationship with food. No, that person's a drug addict, and we should address it as such. Okay. Okay. Cool. Nice. Food relationships. Oh, my relationship with food. Okay, anyway.
What's in the box?
Yeah. All these retards just always talk like they're speaking for all fucking fat people or something. It's like, cool.
The trans genocide that is currently happening.
Who started the trans genocide without me? Let's fucking go. Who started this?
The little rascal has emotional damage.
God, I'm always late to these things. I always find out late. You're going to tell me there's a trans genocide happening and I wasn't fucking invited? I would have cleared my schedule. Fuck. I knew there was something to do today. Fuck. All this time. Damn it. Shit. Missed another genocide. There's like 3 genocides that I missed this past like year. In the last like 365 days, I've missed like 3 genocides. I missed the genocide in Ukraine. I missed the genocide in I missed all these genocides. Fuck. They happen so fast now. Like they're just gone. Used to take years. Now it's just like, pff, what's next?
The trans genocide?
The clapping. The fucking clapping. Like the trans genocide is happening. The clapping for each. If someone claps for every syllable, you can ignore any of the substance that they're saying because there is none.
That is currently...
Oh my God, you're not going to do this the whole fucking video. I will stop it if you clap the whole fucking video. Bro, please don't clap the whole time.
happening in this country.
Oh my God. I can't do this for a minute.
Right? That all of the top academic researchers have already.
There's no top academic researchers when it comes to mental illness, apparently. They're not doing too good because mental illness is not getting better.
Confirmed we're well into doesn't just mean
Stop.
The murdering of trans people.
No trans people. None. You mean the trans people that are murdering children, that are shooting up schools and churches and stuff like that? Are you talking about those? I'm confused. Because there is a trans genocide happening, but it's like, can you be anti-genocide? It's like, it's not enough to be against genocide. You have to be actively anti-genocide. So are we talking about the trans mental illness people that are killing people? I'm confused. Who are we talking about? Because they're the ones doing the killing, as far as I can tell.
It means the systematic eradication of trans people from public life.
Yes. 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 That's good. That's good. That's good. We shouldn't be putting mentally ill people on a pedestal. That's good. We shouldn't be lying to people. I agree. Good. Good.
And what we're seeing in Kansas,
what's going on in Kansas? What's going on in Kansas? Someone find this out for me. Is there a trans genocide going on in Kansas? We making Kansas great again? Is there a trans genocide in Kansas that I don't know about? Can you imagine being I don't say trans, being a mentally ill man pretending to be a woman in Kansas? Probably not the best location. Probably not the best spot. All those Kansas trans, the Kansas trans community is under attack.
we've seen this past year with hundreds of anti-trans bills being passed left and right is contributing to the trans genocide, and we're not considering that.
What you just said
We're not
is
done.
one of the most insanely idiotic things
over.
I have ever heard.
It's fucking over. Let's go.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay. Anyway, based? Mark says, I Googled it. Apparently trans people are not allowed to identify as what they claim to be. Oh, wow. You are not a fish. I'm sorry to break it to you. Under their driver's license. Oh, so you can't lie. Okay. So you're not. Kansas apparently passed laws that say you can't falsify official documents. Based.
If you can't be at least mildly interesting, then shut the hell up.
Are there any women here today?
There you go. Kansas. Based. All right. Cool. Good information. Thanks for I appreciate the heads up. Very nice. Yeah, here we go. Andy says, Kansas passed a law saying you have to have your biological sex on your driver's license, not your preferred pronouns. Oh, no. So apparently, someone's got to let any of the victims of actual genocide, someone should let them know we are really stretching. When I say stretching, I don't mean the balloon that you have to put in for your fake vagina. I'm talking about stretching the definition of genocide. Definition of genocide. Genocide. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Genocide is the deliberate, systematic, and intentional destruction, in whole or in part, of a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Well, having a mental illness, you're not a national group, you're not an ethnic group, you're not a racial group, or you're religious. So it's not a genocide. There you go. It is recognized under international law as a crime involving killing, causing severe harm, or imposing, as defined by the United Nations, conditions calculated to destroy a group. Yep, that's not happening at all. All right, so just based on the definition of the word that you're using, and definitions have meaning. All right, again, the same people, Marxist communists, that are trying to tell you 2 + 2 = 5, definitions don't have meaning. Because if definitions have or fluctuating meanings, then they can just change the definitions and leverage power by, feigning victimhood status. So yeah, so you can't lie on your driver's license. Okay. So I don't know. This sounds awesome. This sounds great. This is great news. It should not be news. It shouldn't even be something that's, wow, this is a good idea. This should just be the standard. And I guess it is. You mean if you have like a penis, you're a man, and if you have a vagina, you're a woman. Like, shocking stuff. I know, everyone's shook. You shook? Everyone's shooketh.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Yeah, Canada's up there just killing people. And then you have trans people in Kansas like, they're genociding us. And Canada's like, you have a headache? Come on over here. We'll kill you. Come on over here. You're feeling bad. You're not getting enough vitamin D. It's winter and you're feeling depressed. Come on in. We'll kill you. Yeah, you don't have to live anymore. We got you. We'll take you out. Yeah, it hides the real genocide. Hides the real genocide that's happening. Sweet. Excellent. All right, here we go. Gain Train. Let's give away today's Swole card. We do have a Swole card, and we will give it away. And it's called Gain Train. Oh, we got a winner. Oh, shit. We got a winner today. Yeah, it's Swole Sama. Congratulations. Everyone's like, all right. Milked, rigged. Congratulations, Swole Sama, for winning today's Swole card. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3590 in the subject, mailing address in the body of your email. Plus, fam, look at that. Totally rigged and milked. Rigged kickbacks. All right, Riley, you get the, now you can shut the fuck up. All right. I'll DM you like, shut the fuck up now. All right. You got your fucking card? You happy? Shut the fuck up. All right. So we do have, what was I going to say? We have, it's episode 3590. So that means we have a new signature series dropping in just 10 fucking days. And we also will have the updated brackets. Again, we got Merch Madness that's dropping shortly. I know some of you your minds are blown. It's super confusing and you don't want to participate. That's fine. You don't have to win the prizes, but we will have awesome prizes. And just a little summary. You don't have to print this out. This is not the final form, but we will have an easy printable bracket that you can use and only members can win. So again, a little summary of what we're going to do. We're taking the best sellers, top designs, and we're going a face-off. And we're doing kind of like a round robin type Merch Madness instead of March Madness, like the college basketball. And what we're going to do is we're going to be posting essentially face-off pictures on Instagram stories or in the feed on different places. We will aggregate some of these different polls. So we're just going to post them publicly, and you can vote too also if you see them around, but we're going to be posting these. And then based on who wins, you have to guess and see what the greater Swole fan, right? You have to guess what the public will vote as the winning designs. So just saying, like, these are not necessarily the final ones, but just think of some of these face-offs in the first round. We have Jacked Sparrow versus Let It Grow, Barbell Girl versus Deadlift, Harry Squatter versus Gaindolf. Like, these are tough designs. Which one is going to get voted in? Look at this on the left. We have Super Swole Bros and Lift, Lift, Lift. So these might not be all the final matchups, but that's tough. Muscle Alphabet versus Vegan Tears. Man, these are some tough ones. Ozempic versus Jacked O'Lantern. Only Swole versus You're a Swole One, Mr. Grinch. Go to the fucking gym versus Swole Signal. These are tough. So what are people going to vote for? Forest Pump versus Swoleverine. I'm interested in this one. because if Forest Pump takes over and it's Forest Pump versus Circle of Lift, which one is going to be voted for? That's tough. And we will have prizes. So I haven't announced those yet. So we're going to be starting this shortly, and I will announce the prizes, and we'll get into that a little bit more. So super awesome. And stay tuned for that. Just a reminder, we announced that on Monday. So that's coming up. So stay tuned. Don't want anyone to forget. And of course, if you head on over to papaswolio.com, you can check out all our awesome designs. And if you see at the top of the page, we have tapestries, fam. Come on, we showed some awesome pictures of people's gyms with tapestries on them. We got a lot of them. Look at all these.
There are tapestries.
We
have many tapestries.
Tell me we don't have tapestries. Try to. Be like, Papa Swole, your merch is great, but you don't have any tapestries. Hold my protein shake. Check that out. Boom, tapestries in your face. Tapestries, we got new releases, we got hair and body care, we got a lot of great stuff. So check out all the best sellers, absolute fire. Go and check that out. Buy one, get one 50% off. papaswolio.com. Shameless plug. Now we got a throwback. All right. Here we go. Fan freaking tastic. So let's get into this throwback, and it starts right now.
You're not saying something groundbreaking or revolutionary by talking about how proud you are to be a skinny person.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And it's wild to me that in the same breath, a lot of these same people will talk about how they grew up skinny and they were bullied for it, but then also recognize that society treats fat people and plus-size people as subhuman.
What? Society doesn't do that.
But when you talk about how proud you are to be thin, you are reminding me of a certain group of people. And I'm not going to say it directly.
I'm not going to say what race, what people.
If you had any knowledge of the fat acceptance movement, of the body positive movement, you would understand that fat people and plus size people loving and accepting their bodies has always been political.
It's never been political.
Shut up, bitch!
Well, I say it's never been political. It's tried to be political. I mean, I guess it always has been because you play Marxism. That's, you know, political ideology. That's the philosophy behind communism. So I guess it has been political, right? Virtue signaling and blaming other people for your fucking problems and playing the victim and being the ever marginalized group of people that are always oppressed, right? It's not enough to be black. You have to be black and handicapped. You can't be black and handicapped if you're black, handicapped, and trans. And then if you're black, handicapped, and trans, and you also are a fucking two-spirit Native American, right? You know, you intersectionality. You layer on these other things to be the most victimized group, and to the point where, you know, it's just such a big grift, no one fucking cares. In other words, like Chicken Little, the sky's falling and no one fucking cares because you yell and scream oppression all the time. And everyone's like, you're totally fine. You have an iPhone, you have a job or whatever, and you know, you're totally fine. You're not being persecuted or oppressed. You're just mentally ill, and you want everyone else to vouch for your insanity, and no one's going to do that anymore. We don't care. So you can go fuck yourself. Fam, thanks for being here. Appreciate you, Beaches. I will see you all tomorrow for another amazing Mancast. Thanks for being here. 3591 tomorrow. Signature series in 10 days, and this signature series is going out right away. So really looking forward to this one. It's going to be awesome, just like the last ones. And got a lot going on. So we'll keep you updated. We have new releases coming up next Monday. We got a lot of stuff going on with merch. We got the merch madness, all these awesome things. So we'll see you in the app. I posted about the sleep. If you haven't responded, go inside the app, go in the community section, comment on the pin post. We'll get to your responses tomorrow. I'll see you in the community. Join us over at swolenormousx.com, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace, McGee's, deuce, magoose, ya boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stocks crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? shit. Whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons out closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you children popping.